Hi, it's Denise with Paper Crafty, and it's day 4 with the 7 days of summer digital collaboration between Dear Julie and Cara Brandon Creations. And today I'm going to be using this digital from Dear Julie, the day 4 of her digital, and I'm going to be using the day 4 digital from Cara Brandon's digital kit, and this is it right here. I'm going to be putting links to both of these digital kits in the description box below, as well as links to all of the what we're calling elves working on these digital collaboration projects to come up with ways to use these digitals in your own projects. I hope you're playing along and I hope you're having fun, and let's get started. Okay, so I desperately need to finish my July insert because I need to put it around here so that I can put it through the elastic in there, the other booklet through there, so that this is all put together and done. So that off to the side. You're okay, kitty kitty. All right, so I have my July insert all printed off, and I've gone ahead and I printed off Julie's. Let's see, we're day 4. Thank you, Julie. Day 4 printable. Just on one sheet. This is just how it comes out of the printer. And then I took Cara's sheet and I basically rotated this and enlarged it. And that is what I used on the back. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit off of the edge here. I'm going to take about, I'm going to take 3/8 of an inch off because I need this to be, this is, 8.5 by 11 paper. I need it to be 10.5 inches wide. I don't want to take a full 1/2 inch off on this side because I want a little bit of wiggle room for error in case I need that. But I do want to get some of that white off of that right-hand side. Okay, and then I'm going to, let's see, try to figure out how I can, don't want to take the top of this little girl's head off. Okay, just trim up the top, and I need this 7 inches tall, so I'm going to take this to 7 inches and just a smidge beyond, not really to 7 1/8, but just, not even halfway to 7 1/8, but just a little tiny bit beyond 7 inches, just to give me a little bit of wiggle room. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and I am going to score this at 5 1/4. Make sure I've got this all nice and square in there. 5 1/4. Okay. This is a B6 insert, so it's 5 by 7. But even though this is 5 inches wide, I've got to account for the thickness of the insert, so that's why I score it at 5 1/4. Okay, so I'm just starting to embellish this. I'm adding a little washi across the top, and then I realize I can see the branding for Dear Julie, so I add a little whiteout, then cover it back up with the washi tape, and that really is a good way to hide things underneath that you don't want to see. I'm going to add a little bit more washi along the side here, just to add a little bit more of a decorative edge. Kind of want to add that there, but I want this tucked underneath the lemons. So to do that, I'm gonna have to do some fussy cutting around these lemons. So just to start off, I want to place this and figure out where I need to cut. I want this offset a little bit on the white. Do I want it all the way to the bottom or up a little bit? Maybe up a little bit. All right, so I need to cut from, okay, I need to cut from here to here. So I'm just using a straight edge to cut from one pencil mark to the other around the lemons. And I'm doing this on top of a craft mat so I don't ruin my glass mat. When I'm done cutting through, I am going to go ahead and use some Distress Oxide ink to just touch up the edges of those lemons, and that will you know, just even out any imperfections in the cutting process. And I'm also going to use some Distress Oxide around the tag. Then I'm going to take and add glue to the tag, slip it underneath the lemons, and burnish it in place, and then use some art glitter glue to glue the lemons down on top of the tag. And now I'm just cutting out the little label from Cara's sheet and inking up the edges again with gathered twig. Felt like it needed a little more color at the upper right hand corner, so I added some more washi and just gluing down the label. And then it still felt like it needed something up in that right hand corner. It just felt like there was a hole there. So I cut out that butterfly, fussy cut it, inked up the edges, and then I was realizing that I really wanted to cover up that line on the text, and I couldn't position it correctly, so I just was able to use some whiteout to get rid of the line, and then I could put the butterfly wherever I wanted. Now I cut out the tag from Cara's kit, and I am lining that with black archival ink. I'm going to glue this down on top of that area where I had cut out around the lemons on the front side. So I needed something there to cover up that hole. I put this tag down over the hole, and it's not a tag that you can remove now, it's just a tag that's glued down. And then I'm going to take and put this pocket, and I'm going to glue it down over the top of the tag. And that way it'll look like that you can remove the tag, but you really can't, and I could put more things in the pocket. I also edged this in black archival. I remembered I needed to make a tab for my July insert. So I used the rest of the
journaling spot that I fussy cut the butterfly out of. And I'm just making a label to put on top of it, and then I'm going to be gluing it on top of the insert.
Okay, so now I'm going to bind this. The previous two I have bound using a pamphlet stitch. I told you I would show you how to bind using staples, which is also a super easy way to do this. You know, the most important thing again is to get this aligned. I'm gonna find the center. And then I clip that like that. I actually think it's a little bit easier to get everything aligned just right using the pamphlet stitch than stapling. But if you don't, you know, feel comfortable using the pamphlet stitch, this is another option. But sometimes it is hard to get it, you know, so all the creases line up perfectly, and if you don't, then it doesn't fold as easily in it. I mean, it's possible, you know, you can still use it, but it just doesn't fold quite as easily. Okay, so I used to staple it like this on the crease and then have the open part of the staple on the inside. And after kind of nicking myself several times in the interior, I've decided that I'm going to put the open part on the outside. So I'm gonna I just take a long arm stapler. It's a real old-fashioned one. And I open it up, and I'm on my foam core. You can see I've used this one a lot. And I just kind of, I only do it in two spots. So I do it maybe, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch off of the edge over here. And I try to line, you know, this, where the staples come out along the crease. Okay, so I do it like 3/4 down here and 3/4 down here. So I'm gonna do my best to line it up. Push it through. Oh, that turned out pretty good. I've got to lift this up to reposition it, and I do the same thing over here. Trying to get on the crease again. Make sure that I'm even. Okay, there we go. I got a little bit of a shadow going, so. That turned out really good. Okay, so moment of truth. Did it go through to the crease? Now you can see this one is slightly off the crease. Like the crease is right here. This is slightly off the crease. That's gonna make it so it doesn't fold perfectly. It'll work just fine, but it won't fold perfectly. And I take like a letter opener and just fold these little prongs to the staple down. Like that. I just kind of, and I don't do this with my finger anymore because I've cut myself too many times to count. Put that away. And you'll see what I mean when I go through about this being a little bit, so you can see the staple here, it's not on the crease, it's a little bit off of the crease, which, you know, it's not the biggest deal in the world, but you'll see as we go through how it doesn't, See how this is not laying perfectly flat? So I just take my bone folder and I make it lay flat. I'm like, you will lay flat. So, you know, you have to take this extra step if you're going to use the staples to make sure that everything, you know, lays down really nicely and everything, so that you can turn the pages easily. So yeah, I mean, you know, it will absolutely work. I think I like the pamphlet stitch a little bit better, but you know, this works too. So, you know, depending on, you know, use what you have. Don't need to go out and buy a binding kit for this if, you know, you have a long arm stapler like that and you prefer to use that.
And now I'm just going to trim the right hand edge to so that the width is 5 inches. I line up my straight edge metal ruler with the edge of the cover and then use my box cutter to trim off the excess pages. And then I'm using the 1/4 inch corner rounder to round the right hand edges. And finally, I'm going to adhere the tab to the right hand side. I'm making sure it cascades with the other tabs, so I'm lining it up in my planner to make sure it looks really good. So I'm really happy with the way this planner insert turned out. I love this cover. And this is kind of fun to have a pocket inside here that I can add, you know, little notes that I need to add to my planner as I go along. And I'm just flipping through. You can see my inside back cover and then the back cover. I really like that kind of collage look. And yay, I'm going to be able to add it to the elastic for June. I have to find the center first. Let's see, there we go. So I'm going to elastic these two inserts together. And once they're elasticed together, is elasticed a word? Well, I'm making it a word. So once they're elasticed together, then I can add it to my third elastic. I pulled the wrong cord accidentally. I can add it to my third elastic inside my planner, and that's how you get, you turn one elastic into a holder for 2 inserts. So that's kind of cool. And now I've got all of my inserts securely in my planner. Yay! Okay, well, I hope you found this video useful, and if you did like it, please give it a thumbs up to indicate that you did. Leave me a comment, and if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please subscribe to my channel. Again, this is Denise with Paper Crafty, and craft on.